Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole with Eric Ebersol. You ever solve something while washing a plate? I stared at a mug for 60 seconds and suddenly knew how to fix a workflow that had been ruining my morning. Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm Eric, and today we turn brief boredom into a tiny creativity tool. Let's take a look at that. The sink is a laboratory. Experience shows those empty moments let different pieces of a problem reconnect without pressure. Short pause. I like that. The sink lab love it. And the key is tiny. We're talking gaps you can squeeze into a busy day. 60 to 180 seconds, not half an hour of staring. Quick, repeatable pockets that prime you for insight. Short pause. Okay, 3 moves. Step away to incubate. Cut competing inputs so patterns pop, and capture whatever surfaces with a super small ritual. First, why does stepping away actually help? I'm curious. The incubation pause is basically background processing. You let conscious focus off the throttle. The subconscious keeps weaving, and sometimes it spits out a neat connection you couldn't force. Medium pause. Wait, do you mean literally leave the desk? Or can it be a quick shift of attention? Because that changes how people can actually use it. Both work. Stand up, look out a window, wash a dish, or just focus on one neutral object for 30 seconds. The point is predictable, repeatable triggers. Stick a note on your screen. When you see it, pause for 60 seconds. Rituals cue the brain. Short pause. I get the ritual idea, but I'm not convinced. Won't pausing break momentum? I feel like I lose the thread when I step away. I'm not sure you lose it. You trade groove for gain. Example, I walked away from a stubborn paragraph, made coffee, came back and rewrote the lead in 1 sentence. If you're worried about momentum, keep the pauses very short and always follow with a tiny capture. Short pause. Right. And if you still worry, set a timer for 60 seconds. You get the pause without the risk of an hour-long drift. The timer itself becomes part of the ritual. Short pause, fair. So the second move is what Shauna called the micro-stimulus diet. Cut the flashy inputs so your brain's pattern detectors notice smaller links. How small are we talking? Tiny. 30 to 90 seconds with no phone, no podcast, no scrolling. Look at one object, count a few breaths, or mute notifications and name 3 small details. That narrowing makes weird but useful connections stand out. Short pause. Right. Quick safety note. Don't try this while driving or in situations where attention is required. Got it? Okay. But what if 30 seconds still feels awkward? Some listeners will bail because silence is uncomfortable. Start smaller. 20 seconds or a single deep breath. Or look at one corner of the room and name one color. The aim is to shrink the step so it's doable, even when boredom feels scary. Short pause. And make it active. Find one odd detail. That little hunt makes it feel like a tiny game, not punishment. Suddenly the silence becomes interesting. And that's where ideas sneak in. Here's where people mess up. They get something useful, and then it vanishes. Tell me the ritual that actually keeps the idea from evaporating. The idle tuning ritual is nails simple. Capture fast and do the tiniest follow-up. 1 sentence, 1 voice memo, 1 line in a notes app labeled idea, and then 1 tiny action. Set a 2-minute timer to test it. Send 1 clarifying message or jot the next step. The key is speed. Medium pause. Yes, 1 click commits. I once lost an idea that would have saved half a day's work because I assumed I'd remember it. Never assume. Capture and nudge it forward immediately. That tiny bias toward action prevents regret. Short pause. Ouch. Okay, that makes it urgent. Quick disagreement. Isn't recording a voice memo slower than just remembering? Some people will still skip it. Not if it's built into the ritual. Make capture faster than the fade. 1-word tags. Shorthand, or a single bullet. If you can do it in 5 seconds, you'll do it more often. Habits beat good intentions. Short pause. And if you're worried about friction, pre-create a note called Quick Ideas and have it open. One tap, one line. Done. Make the path of least resistance the capturing path. Alright, enough chatter. Let's try a 1-minute boredom experiment together. Put your phone face down, sit or stand, and if you can, close your eyes. When I go quiet, let your mind wander or stare at one spot. I'll be silent for a full minute, then prompt a quick capture. Ready? Here we go. Okay, eyes open when you're ready. One word, an image, or a tiny next step. Did anything come up? Speak it aloud or jot one line now. Capture it before it slips. What stands out is how small things become loud. A phrase, a design tweak, a new angle. They're seeds, not finished trees. Plant them immediately. Short pause, laughing. To fold this into your day, 3 rules. Keep it short. Make it no screen and low stimulus. Capture fast with a tiny action. Short, simple, repeatable. That's the whole system. Short pause, quick challenge. Try the 1-minute experiment once between now and tomorrow. If it feels weird, start with 20 seconds or a single breath. And if it works even a little, do it before your next tricky email or design problem. I'd love to build a short series on this, a 7-day micro boredom challenge. For now, try it. Be generous with yourself and celebrate the small wins. That is an interesting topic. Remember, boring moments are tools, not flaws. Treat them like tiny experiments and you'll be surprised how often they pay off. Thanks for diving in with us. Short pause. Thanks for listening to Down the Rabbit Hole. Try today's 1-minute experiment, and if you liked this little dive, subscribe so we can keep bringing short, useful experiments. Don't be afraid to learn. You've been listening to Down the Rabbit Hole with Eric Ebersol.